We have no mercy for those that come to disrupt the restoration of this struggle. We don't negotiate with anyone. We will never do that. Because when you do things like that, you encourage the same thing to be inside the government, and they will continue to do what they are doing.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you to this amazing platform. Thank you so much for joining me on today's program, and I wish you a very happy new year. Finally, we are now in the year 2025, and as we proceed in the year 2025, we must not forget that we have a lot of responsibilities. Our responsibility in this platform is to give you information and make sure that you have an update on what is going on in Biafra land, more especially things that has to do with the restoration of independent state of Biafra. Today, I am going to share with you a very important video. Please pay attention to this video. In all the information that we see here, you are going to see that they have started again a new deceit to distract us from the restoration of independent state of Biafra. We must not be distracted. It is either Biafra or nothing. Mazi Nnamdi said it to us, and he has not changed his mind. If anybody tries to insinuate that Mazi Nnamdi have changed, that is a lie. Watch this video from beginning to the end. You will understand that the enemies will never give up. And those of us who are focusing on the restoration of Biafra, we must not give up. Do not get distracted, regardless what you hear or what you see. Always remember that it is Biafran first. All eyes must be on the rising sun. Every eye must be on the rising sun. Do not allow yourself to be carried away with things that are happening around you. The restoration of independent state of Biafra is one thing that we must focus on. We have the United States of Biafra now. Let's watch.
We have successfully conducted the Biafra Self-Referendum Convention in Finland, and it is making wave all over the world. We're breaking the jinx, and we're making waves. These are the waves that is needed in a liberation phase like this. We have been able to generate and create a heavy awareness for the interest of the Biafra all over the world. I thank Biafrans who participated in this particular Finland convention, and those of you who did not participate, but you participated financially, and those of you who did not participate financially, but participated spiritually. I thank all of you for making this particular dream a reality. I want to inform Nigeria government today that what Biafrans are fighting for is a just cause. It is no longer just an ideology, but it has become a realistic ideology. The Biafra freedom in this century has become more realistic than ever. And I want to also thank those who has made it possible for us to come this far. Many of you, you know yourselves. I want to thank the cabinet of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, the cabinet, the ministers, the head of department, and all of you. I want to also thank the media team of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile for their resilience, their job, and what they have deposited so far. I want to thank the media team, specifically the media team. For those of you who do not understand what we're doing, the Biafra government in exile, I want to make reference to what has happened in the past. For those of you who may not understand, I want us to reflect back to the history of how the government in exile were formed in the first place. The rapidly with which, during the time of war, with which the German armies, in violation of all international agreement, overran the vast territories and countries in 1939 and 1940. That is what gave birth to government in exile, of which Biafra is proudly being part of that particular historic method. Today, the German army overran majority and many territories within Europe between 1939 and 1940. It left many countries prostrate before even they had opportunity to organize effective defense, or even before they could prepare themselves legally to form some set of government. The early stage sovereignty during and after the war, the anti-Axis forces faced with an enormous situation where most of these forces were forced to resort to the formation of government in exile, of which Poland started the formation of the government in exile. In order to perpetuate the legal expression of countries which suddenly found themselves without government. Today, Biafra people of the southeast and people of the south called Nigeria today has found themselves without government. The government that doesn't represent the interests of the people, the government that kills its own people, the government that commits genocide, the government that above all fund terrorism against its own people cannot be said to be a government. That's what Simon Ekpa, the Biafra Republic government in exile, and every well-meaning Biafrans all over the world are fighting against today. The system of government in exile is strictly a wartime expediency. That particular wartime expediency is exactly what is happening in many parts of Nigeria today, leading to the creation and formation of Biafra Republic government in exile. Without real president, but their formation was a natural procedure. This was their recognition by other powers. The first government to form an exile government cabinet is Poland. Poland was the first country to form government in exile. They had anticipated an emergency situation and had prepared the legal ground. Under Article 24 of the Polish Constitution empowers the President of the Republic to appoint a successor under certain conditions without the approval of the Polish Sejm. On September 30, 1939, the Polish President Ignacy Mościcki who was interned as a refugee in Romania by the Bucharest government, appointed by letter as the president of the Polish. The former speaker of the Polish people, of the Polish Senate, who was at that time free in Paris. He was in exile in Paris. In turn, the new president appointed as Premier General Sikorski, a political moderate and an opponent of the late Polish dictator Pilsudski. General Sikorski, who had lived several years in exile, had been serving as commander-in-chief of the Polish army in France. This government was recognized by Britain and France and was extended financially credit. They even granted them financial credit. Choose. By the simple acceptance by the Allied powers, the Polish government was granted constitutional continuity. And of course, the legal status of government in exile is something that every Biafran must understand. The reason why I am touching this particular topic today in the State of the Nation address is that it has come very clear that many Biafrans are ignorant of government in exile. They do not understand what government in exile entails. They do not understand the functions of government in exile, and do not understand what we intend to achieve by the formation of this particular government in exile, which has taken responsibility of governance and protecting the life of Biafrans all over the world. This simple legal formula has been applied to every nation whose government fled to Allied soil after defeat by Hitler. The only government in exile whose constitutional continuity may be questioned is the Czechoslovakia. The Czechoslovakia was the only government that sustained after the Hitler and after the invasion of many countries within Europe. On October 5th, 1938, shortly after the Munich conference, Edward Benz resigned as the president. But Czechoslovakia government continued to function under President Hatch and Premier Rudolf Beran. The leader of the Agrarian Republican Party, along with former Premier Milan Husa, until the German invaded the country in March 1939. President Hatcher government had been recognized by France, England, and the United States. In the effort to lend weight to the Munich Agreement, but when a protectorate under von Norwich was established by the German occupant, no steps were taken by the Hatcher cabinet to contest the legality of the new regime, even though France, Great Britain, and the United States explicitly refused to recognize the puppet state. The campaign for a new Czechoslovakia government started in exile as well. Very soon after, when March 1939, Czechoslovakia diplomatic representatives in the United States urged Dr. Benz to assist them. Now, having listened to this short brief about the exile government and how it started, we may also need to look into functions of the exile government as you see today under international law. International law recognizes that the government in exile may undertake many steps of type of actions to conduct of their daily affairs. These actions include becoming a party to bilateral international treaty. Biafra has signed some international bilateral agreement and treaty, and many are on the way. It was possible because of the formation of the Biafra Republic government in exile. Amending or revisiting its own constitution, Biafra Republic government in exile has adopted a charter called the Helsinki Declaration. Maintaining military forces, the Biafra Republic government in exile has formed its own military forces called the Biafra Liberation Army and Biafra Resistance Fighters, Biafra Navy, and Biafra Air Force, as empowered by the international law. Retaining or newly obtaining diplomatic recognition from other states, That's exactly what Biafra Republic Government in Exile is doing. We are obtaining diplomatic recognition from other states, and many states have extended their hands of fellowship to the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, including the recent one today. On this day, we have received an offer of recognition from intending state. Issuing identity card is part of the function of the government in exile. Biafra government in exile have activated the data collection of every Biafran all over the world, including the issuance of the Biafra National Identity Card. This particular identity card was unveiled during the Helsinki Declaration here in Finland. The government in exile function is also allowing the formation of new political parties. This is what Biafra Republic Government in Exile and the de facto government is going to do in the nearest future. Holding election. Holding election is what the Biafra Republic Government in Exile and de facto government is going to do in the nearest future. Now, fellow Biafrans, having listened to the functions of government in exile, of which the Biafra people are operating now, and I am the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic Government in Exile, let us now go into the delegitimization process of the Nigerian government within Biafra land. The delegitimization of the Nigerian government within Biafra land have started, and it has started with full force. This delegitimization is coupled with the self-defense, making sure our women and children are not killed anymore, making sure our women and children and elderly people don't pay the price of being one Nigeria, making sure that no genocide is being committed without resistance. We are resisting them through and using the delegitimization system and method. Today, our Biafra Liberation Army, Biafra resistance fighters are engaging the terrorist state of Nigeria, who come to kill, maim, and destroy. I want to inform you all that as we step into the next level of the delegitimization of the Nigerian government within Biafra land, a lot is going to take place. Our aim, objective, and target is to make sure that the enablers of this evil government within Biafra territory will be evicted. In the coming days, there is something that is going to happen in Imo State. We were told that the Nigeria terrorist state is about to conduct election in Imo State. And I want to make it very clear on this day that Biafra people will never allow Nigeria anymore to validate any government within Biafra land. Biafra people are not going to allow Nigeria to conduct the election in Imo State. But I have a message for the people of Biafra. The result of this coming election in Imo State has been written by Hope Uzodinma. And he has paid INEC. And INEC has a copy of that result. So it does not matter whether there is an election or whether there is an election. Hope Uzodinma is already there. He has the result written. But what we want to prove to the world is that there will be no election in Imo State, and they are still going to call Hope Uzodinma as the winner. And even if election takes place in Imo State, they are still going to call Hope Uzodinma as the winner. So for that reason, we want to prove to the world that first, we will never validate the evil entity called Nigeria, the fraudulent entity called Nigeria. There is no election taking place in Nigeria. We have seen it in the general election. We have seen it in the other election this year. And just the general election, presidential election, the court ruled who become the president. It is not by your vote. It is not by a democratic process. There is nothing like democratic process in Nigeria. So for that reason, apart from other things that we have come to see, evidently, the election will be, we are going to make sure that election don't take place in Biafra, starting from Imo State. And that is part of the delegitimization of the Nigerian government within Biafra land. We are only asking for a true democratic process that will lead us to a new nation. A nation where the vote of the people will be counted. A nation where we are going to practice a true democracy. A nation where people will come out to vote and their vote will be counted. So we don't want a nation where somebody will be somewhere and have written results since last year and have a copy of that result, and the copy of the result is with the INEC, and then they are coming to deceive the public, and people will go out, and at the end of the day, they're going to call his name. And I want Biafrans to understand that you don't forget how Hope Uzodimma became the governor of Imo State. It was by court. They control the court. They pay the judges. In the coming judgment of the 5th of December, I came publicly to announce that we have knowledge and intel that the judges have collected 1.2 billion naira each in order to shift the date of the judgment.
Thank you so much for watching the program. I appreciate you for your patience to watch from beginning to end. I hope you have learned a lot from this very program that I just played, this video. Please like and share the video. Share to all platforms. After sharing the video, now you can go to the comment section and put down your comments. Whatever suggestions, contributions you have to make, what do you think about the video I just played? Go to the comment section and put your comment. I will go through the comment section, and I bet you I am learning a lot from there, and you can equally learn from there. Let us share our experience on that comment section. Thank you so much, and stay blessed. Don't forget to share, and we continue to bless you as you share. Biafran government, peace, progress, unity, and equity. We move. Airborne.